Alright, the topic of today's video is testosterone. So, testosterone is mostly thought of as the way you build muscle. Like in the space on YouTube, people when they talk about testosterone, they're just talking about how to get more muscle mass, basically. But it's missing a huge point of testosterone because there's many aspects of it and it's super important and integral to a man's happiness and his life in general. So, number one, testosterone increases your happiness. It makes you feel better. So your dopamine goes up and your serotonin goes up. And overall, if your testosterone is higher, you feel better just in general for numerous reasons. Number two is testosterone helps you enjoy effort. So everyone talks about, doing the hard work, the discipline, everything like that, right? But testosterone actually helps you to enjoy the effort while you're doing it. So you enjoy lifting the weight, you enjoy doing the cardio, you enjoy hopping in a cold shower, you enjoy pushing yourself to your limit, doing the hard work. Because if you can actually enjoy it, then you can consistently do it for a very long time. So it's super important. Then testosterone also helps you in like social dynamics. So for getting girls, it helps a lot because it's first of all it gives you more drive of getting girls. I guess like you have higher libido, so you want more girls. That's number one. But you also portray a more like confident, relaxed, kind of like dominant, sort of like nature. So that helps a lot. Then if you have low testosterone, as I think I used to have, you kind of feel like more shitty normally, just you don't feel that good. And once you start to do the habits I'm about to talk about or the things you can do to improve it, you'll start to notice like you just feel better. Your life will start improving in an innumerable amount of areas just because this is like one thing where if you focus on this, other parts of like almost every other part of the like whole self-improvement thing will get better because it's just more fun to do it, it's easier, and it just fixes a lot of things. So one thing I want to touch on is like this thing looks like a fucking weird ass device you'd find in a doctor's office, but it's called like a dynameter, right? You can get it for like $25 on Amazon or whatever. I'm not gonna put an affiliate link or anything. I'm not trying to do an ad, but so you basically like have your grip strength and you just do this. I'll just do it now for you guys. So you just like hold it like that, and then so it's I don't know if it focused. Yeah. So it says like a grip strength, and the reason I'm doing this is because grip strength is the best corollary with testosterone. So you'll see like as there's like the blood test, right? And no one like realistically 99% of people are not gonna like go out and buy a blood test and do all this bullshit, right? But you don't have to because grip strength is actually a better measure of testosterone than the blood test. Because basically the blood test could be like you're going into the place and you see like a hot nurse and your testosterone like spikes and it was like 500 nanograms per deciliter, and then it's like 1,000 when you get the blood drawn, or like it could be anything like that. It could be like you feel stressed out because you're in a doctor's appointment and your body is like getting prepared and your testosterone spikes, right? It could be anything like that. So this is much more reliable. It's way cheaper, and you can just measure it like every morning or whatever to see how your testosterone is. If you're recovered from the gym, if you're sick or anything like that, right? So ways you can increase your testosterone naturally. I don't recommend like TRT or anything like that. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know that it has some side effects, and I think something like 90% of people who start taking TRT stop after 1 year. It was like some insane amount. So like just based on that, the people who've taken it have realized there's something that maybe that they didn't consider when they started, right? So, yeah. Okay. One thing is sunlight. So I'm gonna make a whole separate video on sunlight, but most people don't get enough vitamin D, which is like basically you need a certain amount of vitamins to make testosterone, right? So if you're not getting the vitamins, you'll have a significant decrease in your testosterone normally. So getting a certain amount of sunlight, depending on your skin color, like for me, I usually try to get around like 25 minutes or so per day of sunlight, if possible, if it's not like raining or anything like that, right? And yeah, it's like a very significant amount of testosterone increase because you're fixing that deficiency that so many people have, right? Um, Number two, in terms of the ways you can increase your testosterone, actually is sleeping more. So people don't really sleep enough. Like most people, if you talk to people or maybe even yourself, you probably sleep like, you know, it could be like 7 hours or something like that. Maybe you're in bed for 7 hours. But then if you actually if you actually were to see how much of that you're actually asleep, it'd probably be more like 6 hours, 6.5, and maybe your quality isn't even that good. So your testosterone can't be produced properly because it's produced while you're sleeping. So that's a big issue, right? Then, or testosterone is also produced in like the second half of when you're sleeping, like the second half of your sleep. So I guess if you wanted to prioritize testosterone, you could try to, sleep like more, or like if you had to choose to sleep like less, more late or get up earlier, you would choose to sleep later, right? But I don't know how helpful that is. I would just try to sleep more in general for all of its benefits aside from testosterone. Then the next thing would be just accomplishing little goals, like anything just throughout the day. It could be when you wake up, you make your bed. It could be you wash your face with like cold water instead of warm water. It could be small things like that. It could be that you clean your dish right away, and you're like, good job. You like are happy about that. Accomplishing little goals increases your testosterone because it makes you it like sort of reframes your mind from like kind of a chump to like, what you want to be like him, right? Because once you start making progress, you start to like change there's like a whole sciencey bullshit of like how you see yourself in the social hierarchy affecting your testosterone and serotonin levels and all this shit. But yeah, basically just making incremental steps towards your goals, or just doing like, little parts of like little bits of difficulty, things like that, if that makes sense. And then one more thing about testosterone is that the reason I say it should be like your main goal, sort of, if you haven't done this, is because you could go in the direction of like, okay, I wanna like, let's say, I don't know, I wanna like start a business, right? You wanna start a business and you're like super hyped about it, and you're like, okay, this is your thing, you wanna go there, right? You might get to a point, or even before you've started it, where you don't really enjoy doing the effort, so you don't end up doing it or pursuing it for the long term. That could be number one. And then secondarily is like, if you just focus on increasing your testosterone and you build the habit so that you have this kind of like baseline increase and it continues to rise as you continue to do these habits and learn more about it, it'll just have just so many effects. Like I said, it's just like if you've been neglecting this, you'll probably see the biggest increase in your life and your just happiness in general and your fulfillment and your progress in your goals if you just spend some time, build these habits, and focus on increasing them. A couple more things, just as wrapping up. Make sure all the like health things you could think of, like getting enough vitamins, eating the right foods, eating like the right amount of foods, sleeping enough, like I said. All of the like health things you can think about, doing cardio, all this, exercising, weightlifting, that also increases testosterone. So just make sure you're doing the bare basics, the bare minimum of health. That's very important. Right, so if anyone has any questions, I have coaching down below. If you want to know my mindset and get from wherever you are all the way to here, all the addictions I've battled, any like mindset issues, you know, everything I've learned, you can just invest in the knowledge and get straight to the top, not waste months or years of your life facing the same things that I've done. Yeah. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Peace.